different applications from water filtration to nuclear remediation, but they're also able to transform the harmful fields in the environment at the atomic level. So shungite is a very special mineral, and we've included extra shungite in our shungite charging plates. At Fix the World Morocco, we're celebrating 1 year of making Orgonite with over 1,000 happy customers. I make every piece by hand, and we personally package and ship to locations all over the world. Remember, worldwide shipping is included in our special offer price. If you have any questions, send it to fixproject@gmail.com, and either myself or my wife Naima will promptly respond to you. These offers at these prices only last for the next 24 hours once you click that button. Don't delay. Order your charge plate today.
Everybody, I'm Hope Girl.
And this is Tavon.
And we're here from Fix the World Morocco. And in this video, we're going to be talking about structured water and why it's so good for you.
Absolutely.
So we've done a little bit of research, and we just wanted to share some technical definitions and just bring you into the amazing world of structured water. You can understand how you really help to benefit your health and so many other things. So structured water is a molecular arrangement of water that exists when water is near hydro-loving surfaces, layer sheets. But unlike ice, however, the sheets are flexible and move independent protons. The majority is structured water, as your bodily tissues are hydrophilic.
Yep.
So, I mean.
Okay, so structured water is water that is in a more energetic form.
Right, so it's energized water.
It is energized water.
It has more like energy, life force energy in it. It's structured a certain way.
And naturally contain this structured water.
Now the other interesting thing about structured water is if you're thinking about nature, if you rainwater that falls at the top of the mountain and it goes all of the earth, and it's moving through rocks and dirt and tree roots and streams, and it gets all the way down to the bottom of the mountain. After it's gone through all those different elementals, that process naturally is structuring the water. And that's why spring water is so good for you when it's structured, and that's also why you get more life in water and bodies of water that has something flowing in and out of it. Why when you have that's when you tend to get a lot of death and decay and like bugs and mosquitoes and that type of thing in like ponds are really not great. It has a lot of more energy and life force in it. But let's get more into the science behind this, because let's talk about vortexes.
Right.
Like a tornado, a vortex around. So how does vortexing in general create? So in a properly designed vortex, into hydrogen and oxygen. So the vortex,
that's right.
Right? And then this newly created oxygen itself is a hydrophilic element, hexagonal sheets of structured water from the oxygen layer by layer. We're talking about vortexes, and we're talking about these patterns, these energy patterns that happen.
Absolutely.
Now, we're going to tell you a little bit about our orgonite, because the orgonite, the energy from our orgonite, and we've shaped it into a flat, pretty charging. When you put a glass on top of this charging plate, the energy vortex and a structure capture that structure in ice. So of our ice test, so that you can
the
see
ice test. Absolutely
with your own eyes how amazing the vortex fields are. Now, what you're looking at here is a picture or a video of a glass. We had a jar of water.
It was distilled water.
We used distilled water just to get the purity, right? So
that's right.
Nice pure distilled water in a glass jar in our refrigerator freezer, on top of
one of these,
a charging plate.
Yeah.
And what that created was this vortex in the formation. Now what you're looking at with those beautiful spikes that go out, that's not found in normal freezers.
No.
You only get that kind of design in the water when you have orgonite present.
That's right.
And it's one of our favorite You can see with your own eyes the kind of energy field that Orgonite creates around things like water.
That's right. Orgonite has that vortex field, torsion of the material, so that when we do an ice test, that field is represented by the ice. It changes the bonds of the ice.
So let's talk about structured water. Like, what would be the difference in your life if you decided to start structure that you drink? So if you have a device such as an Orgonite charging plate that will structure the water for you, and you can see that it's being structured when you do a test like an ice test, you're structuring that water. So you're energizing the water. What kind of difference would that make?
Okay. Well, most of this research into structured water is pioneered by someone of Dr. Polak, and you can find his book of the fourth phase of water. Now, his research has basically concluded that water is energized water. It's like it's charged. So when you drink this water, the structured water that's in your body, that's in your cells, gets replenished with this energy.
So it's like recharging a battery.
Exactly.
And your body is essentially one big liquid.
That's right. Yeah.
So you're in your body. So when you drink structured water, you just have more energy.
That's right.
Yeah. It's really as simple as that. You have more energy, you feel better, and the water that we drink is so important. I mean, look at how much money we spend on water filters, bottled water, and all these other things about water, and you're always hearing to drink lots and lots of water. Well, we're saying drink lots and lots of structured water. Make all the difference. So we always put, and the way that you use it, that you would use something like this, is you just simply sit a glass on top
of this.
Of that. Some people wanted to put it inside of their water. We
don't recommend you take any of these products and put it inside the actual container with the water in it.
So what you need to know is that the vortex, the energy field that's created from these, it travels through things, metal, glass,
ceramics.
Right? So basically, you just sit your water on top of it. It's really that simple. And how long should they keep their water? 45 minutes.
Effect starts to take place.
Yeah, so about 45 minutes is the effect. I guess if you sat it on there longer, probably better, right? But we drink all different kinds of water. Sometimes we drink a lot of distilled water. Sometimes we drink mineral. Lucky to have a really great water, filtered water. But big jug of water, sit it on top of the charging plate overnight, and then the next morning we have structure.
And all of this is done passively.
Yeah.
Is because of the conditions in the environment, Orgonite turns it into something that...
Right, and this is just one of the uses for our Orgonite charge plates. So structuring your water. Another video, we will show you how you can use them for many other things, like how to preserve food, pillow. So they do sell them in sets, so you can buy one charge plate or you can get two charge plates. We ship them all over in a special deal below this video, and you can get your charge plates today. So thanks so much for watching. We hope next time on Fix the World Mirage. Orgone transforms energy. Some people might think that Orgone blocks energy, but it's actually it takes energy that is harmful and it transforms it into energy that is beneficial. So it cleans it up. Kind of system can clean up or transform waste. Harmful wireless smartphones, internet routers, and your television, for example, make the environment around energy placed around your environment cleans up the toxicity in various ways, such as preserving blood samples for long vegetables and foods for longer periods of time. Better seed germination results in providing pain relief, water, and much more. Orgone energy devices are made mixing a blend of. It puts pressure on the surface area of the powders. This causes something known as the piezoelectric effect, which emits a field that transforms the harmful energy from EMFs into healthy, life-preserving energy. Is a bigger pyramid more effective than smaller ones?
Okay. So we get some of these, some people, if they have the reason, but here's the thing. Making an Orgonite pyramid, pouring epoxy into a mold or structure, the bigger the pyramid, the larger you're going to need to make that pyramid. Now, what we found is that it's actually more economical a large pyramid because of the amount of resin you need to put the size of the mold to make smaller pyramids and have an array of smaller pyramids that would basically be the same volume. So we think that that's probably the better way to go, and it's not so costly. Hi, I'm Tavon Rivers from Fix the World Morocco. I have a special offer I'd like to take to you today. Shungite Orgonite pyramids. What is Orgonite and what do you use it for? Orgonite is a special composite of metal and crystal powders encased in an epoxy resin that is able to take the stray fields in the environment and turn it into healthy energy. You can use the pyramids to grid your property, to protect you and your neighborhood from chemtrails. You can also put these pyramids inside your home for a healthy and stress-free, relaxing environment. When chemtrails are sprayed above your home, they settle down in the form of heavy metals and other toxic, harmful elements. Orgonite pyramids are able to break up the chemtrails above you and also provide a shield of protection around your home. The secret is in the orgone energy field that these create that can be scientifically measured. These pyramids normally sell for $99 each, but today you can get it for the special offer below. At Fix the World Morocco, we're celebrating 1 year of making Orgonite with over 1,000 happy customers. I make every pyramid by hand, and we personally package and ship to locations all over the world. If you have any questions about our products, you can email us at fixtheworldproject@gmail.com, and either myself or my wife Naima will promptly respond to you. These offers at these prices will only last for 24 hours once you click that button. So don't delay, order your pyramids today.
How do I use Orgonite with cell phones?
Okay.
And this is a bit of a lead-in because we have a new product that we're developing that should be out soon.
Yes, that's right.
But let's talk about Orgonite and just cell phones in general.
Okay. So we all, there's a lot of research now that's pre-established talking about the wireless effects of having cell phones on, having cell phones near you, always being on the cell phone, and its radiation and how it impacts the skull. And then depending on what age you are, if you're a child versus an adult, it could be quite detrimental. But over time, in general, wireless radiation coming from the cell phone is dangerous. Okay, so we've been looking at ways of taking our product or the blend of what we've been using to make our Orgonite composites and putting it into a blocker that would be on
like
the
a sticker.
back, a sticker that would be on the back of your phone.
Like a large sticker that would cover the back of the phone.
Yes,
right?
Yeah, a rigid piece of Orgonite that would go on the back.
Thin,
yeah,
but it has to be a certain level of thickness in order to be most effective and powerful. Right?
Yeah, not only that, but just by making it, because of the thickness of the blend that we use, it ends up being about the thickness of one of our pendants.
Okay. So a nice thick.
Yes. Shield
that you could stick onto your phone.
And so again, the purpose of having this shield is to change the nature of the fields that are coming in and being transmitted from the phone. The data is still there, so it won't actually remove any reception, but it will still absorb some of those harmful effects and actually turn your phone into a orgone generating device. Remember, orgone passively takes the wireless energy that comes around it or goes through it and turns it into beneficial energy, and that's what we're trying to do, and that's what we got coming up for our cell phones.
So, and let's just talk about cell phones in general. These are just a couple of tips. With a cell phone, we're actually using this cell phone right now to record our audio, but I just wanted to give everybody an idea. So here's a cell phone. Don't put the cell phone up to your head as often, if it's just for a couple of seconds, so hello, how you doing, that's fine. But I usually like to use the speaker function on my cell phone because I don't want to put it right up to my head. The other thing is that you can, if you have headphones, if you want to have longer conversations on your cell phone, I would always use the headphones and keep the phone sort of away from your body. You don't want to carry your cell phones in your pocket. as well.
Yeah, and there's certain parts you don't want to carry it near.
And I know that a lot of women like
Yes.
to like tuck their cell phone
Yes.
right into their bra over here,
not
and
good.
you definitely don't want to do that. Put it right up against your body. And also sometimes like women who wear headscarves, because you know we're in a Muslim country, so they wear headscarves, and what they do here is they take the phone and they tuck it right into their headscarf, so that it's like stuck to their head permanently, and they can just walk around with their hands free. You have to remember that the phone itself and the Wi-Fi that's going to it, it's emitting a form of radiation.
Yes.
That's really not good for your human cells.
Yes.
So just try to keep it away from your body. Don't use the phone in that way.
Yes.
And
yes.
this is just stuff that we've done to try to keep it safe. And also, we always turn it off at night. We never sleep with it, next to our head where it's on, and put it in airplane mode most of the time. So these are just like some safety tips in the meantime for how you can use a cell phone and safely for your health.
And also minimize the conversation on that phone, to a couple of minutes. If it needs to be longer, either finish it later on the computer or on a landline.
Yeah. I would say that too. Don't spend hours and hours and hours talking on your cell phone.
Not a good idea.
Definitely not a good idea.
Cell phone radiation is a real concern, and people are becoming aware of its harmful effects. Hi, I'm Tavon from Fix the World, and let me explain to you how a cell phone works.
Data travels on towers that are mounted on the buildings from your provider down to your phone. Now, the problem is that data, those signals, when they come to your phone, they also go through your body.
Studies have shown, and people have complained from illnesses, sleepless nights, mood swings, stress, all coming from the harmful effects of EMF, all coming from your cell phone.
Now, you can sign a petition to get the towers removed in your local community or neighborhood, but what can you do right now to protect yourself? This is our new ORGONE Shungite phone shield to help protect you from cell phone radiation. Let me explain how it works. It absorbs and transforms the signals into energy that is more compatible with the body.
Here is how Orgone transforms energy. Some people might think that Orgone blocks energy, but it's actually a lot more complex than that. You see, what Orgone energy does is it takes energy that is harmful and it transforms it into energy that is beneficial. So it cleans it up, kind of like a sewage treatment system can clean up or transform waste. Harmful wireless fields from cell towers, smart meters, smartphones, internet routers, and your television, for example, make the environment around you toxic and harmful to human health and well-being. Orgone energy placed around your environment cleans up the toxicity and helps to restore a healthy, life-supporting environment. This effect can be measured in various ways, such as preserving blood samples for longer periods of time, preserving fruits and vegetables and foods for longer periods of time, better seed germination results in plants, bigger yields in plants, providing pain relief, aiding in better sleep and relaxation, seeing the energy field in frozen water, and much more. Orgone energy devices are made mixing a blend of iron oxide, steel, brass, shungite, and crystal powders into an epoxy resin. When the epoxy cures into a solid plastic state, it puts pressure on the surface area of the powders. This causes something known as the piezoelectric effect, which emits a harmonizing field generated by the different specific properties of the ingredients. It is this field that transforms the harmful energy from EMFs into healthy, life-preserving energy.
Our ORGONE EMF Protection phone shields can be used on your cell phone, on your laptop computer, on your Wi-Fi router box, or anywhere you have a Wi-Fi signal. We're running some special deals so that you can purchase enough shields to protect everyone in your family.
We're selling these phone shields in a variety of colors, and you can get them either single or in sets of 2 or sets of 5, and special offers in the link below. We make and ship our ORGONE products all over the world. You can email us at fixtheworldproject@gmail.com, and either myself or my wife, Naima, will get back to you. Thanks for watching.
So now we're going to talk about how you can change the fields in your house and in your environment to change the energy coming from this 5G, which this is the part that has me jumping out of my chair when I watch these other presentations, because it's like, guys, this is the answer. You can't stop them from setting up all these towers.
Yes.
But if I'm living on a block in California and there's like 3 5G towers going up, like sandwiching me and my family in.
Yes.
I'm going to be lining my house with Orgonite and EMF Protection paint and Shungite and everything else that I can do, because you can't just pack up and move.
Yeah.
Not everybody can
It's
do
not always a
that.
convenient thing for everyone.
So it's like, what do? Well, you create a force field
Yes.
around your personal body, around your house, and around your family, and your plants and your animals, everything, and you combat the energy that way with. I think that the deadliest thing against 5G is orgone energy.
Orgone energy, and this is amazing. When we started this research about almost 3 years ago now, I remember when Val gave me a little puck of the Orgonite. It was an Orgonite puck with some foil shavings and epoxy resin.
Yeah, and you were like, "What is this?"
What is this? I'm a technician, right? And I'm like, "What is this?" But I was suffering. I was very electrosensitive at the time. I didn't even start my my heavy metal detox. So what I did know is that, and we were living on the fourth, fifth floor of the apartment in the middle of the city,
surrounded by cell phone towers.
Yeah. I couldn't sleep a wink for like over 2 weeks or so.
And I felt it too.
And I took this puck. I said, "Well, what can it hurt?" I put this in the bed next to me, and I slept like a baby. And after that, ever since I had the puck, and I noticed this dramatic improvement at least being able to get some rest, and that started my path on Orgonite. And so we're talking about the science of Orgonite. It's from what is called orgone energy, and now in other scientific papers, it's called scalar field or torsion fields. But the discovery was by the late Dr. Wilhelm Reich while observing what he believed was bioelectricity. It was later clarified as a more complex and powerful bioenergetic force. It was a form of life energy at work within living organisms. Now, he observed that in a microscope, around red blood cells, there is a bluish glowing field around the living blood cells and other substances. Now, this bluish glowing energy is what he eventually termed orgone energy. And the thing is that it's an observable physical phenomenon that's similar to the earlier ideas of the cosmic ether. Now, some of us know that of the Michelson-Morley experiment on trying to be able to measure this ether. Now, they weren't successful in that experiment, but there's still this plenum that exists. And in that plenum is where this energy is coming from, and it can be seen observably through living organisms. Now, the reason why I keep referring to this is he was a scientist. Dr. Wilhelm Reich was a scientist. So he was using the scientific method to find for this discovery. So you can replicate this through a series of experiments. And I have to bring this up because just like with Orgonite, you can replicate its results through experiments that someone else has done. And Orgonite, the word Orgonite, if you type that into the search, it's been kind of marginalized because it's surrounded by a lot of woo-woo and new agey. It's going to open your third eye and open your chakra.
It makes a lot of spiritual claims that cannot be scientifically documented.
That's right.
And we're trying to just really stick to the science behind this, to just say this is a thing that has an effect that really does change the life force around you, and you can measure it.
It's measurable.
You can see it, and let me tell you something, this has completely changed our lives because it's just, I mean, it's amazing. We have Wi-Fi here, right?
Yeah.
but we turn it off, and I can feel the Wi-Fi when it's on.
Yes.
And I'm trying to like lay down and go to sleep, and then I go and I turn off the Wi-Fi box, and I'm still kind of feeling something, and then I have my Orgonite next to me, and I instantly, it just covers and it transmutes the energy field, and it just completely takes away that symptom, because I can feel the Wi-Fi too. You get like irritable, and like you clench your teeth, and like maybe you get headaches, or you're overtired, or you're overstimulated, and you get monkey mind, and you can't fall asleep. Like there's a lot of people are very sensitive to it, and it's really changed a lot.
That's right. So
because of the Orgonite.
So to cover the Orgonite, we have to talk about the Orgone energy science. So for Wilhelm Reich, he did a series of experiments. One of his investigations, he had to develop what were called enclosures that were lined with alternating layers of stainless steel sheets and plastic or sheep's wool sheets. And he did these in layers for the walls of these boxes. And he called these orgone accumulators. Now what he found is that they would passively create an ambient field that was 2 degrees higher inside the box than what was measured outside the box. He tried to share these results with Einstein and so forth. And he created this whole body of research around this. This field also seems to have an electrical component that was observable by special gas discharge tubes that he created. Okay.
I'm sorry.
Okay. So so he ran these series of experiments. Now these experiments, when he observed that this standing field was inside these chambers, they did things like charge seeds before growing these plants that ended up being healthier. He was able to increase garden and plant growth. He was able to speed the healing of burns and cuts. He'd make these large chambers so people can sit in them, and they were able to heal quicker. And in some cases, the claim is he was also able to bring cancers to remission repeatedly through these chambers. Now, he also made some other technologies later on in his development, one called the Orgone Cloudbuster, which was a series of steel tubes. One end of it is grounded into a large water ground, like a well or something.
This is his actual
Cloudbuster.
And he does like a museum where he used to live in Maine. I think.
That's it.
So this is the original one that he used and built.
So, and the other side is open-ended, bunch of tubes, and you point these tubes up into the sky depending on, the wind direction and so forth, or where you are. If you're near the desert, if you want to like bring rain to the desert to irrigate that part of the world. And his claim basically is that the Earth and its weather pattern, even at that time, was imbalanced. And for whatever reason, when he brought this device to these areas of imbalance, he was able to bring the rains and get areas of the desert to even go green. Now, this research is well defined. People for the past several decades have been making these cloudbusters.
They have one in Algeria.
They have one in Algeria. Someone put a website like maybe 2 years ago.
Algeria is a country next to us in Morocco, and there was a local farm there, and they built a cloudbuster. They
showed the photos before. It was like some flat areas,
desert,
just
clay soil, no water, and now they're growing a huge community garden. It's feeding the entire community because they have water, because they built a cloudbuster like this one. And they put Nikola Tesla's name on the side of it. I thought that was pretty cool.
that was good. So that's what he's done with the cloudbuster.
Okay.
But one of the more popular experiments that was done recently, and you can still YouTube this, I checked this, is Reich blood test. Sorry, if you type that into YouTube, it's a Spanish team, I think, or Spanish or Portugal. They did this test. They replicated his work, which basically you take a blood sample from a series of people. You get 2 blood samples. So one is the control, which is in a wooden box somewhere, and then the other goes into the Orgone accumulator. And now, as you probably know, when you take blood outside the body, it starts to decay. It just starts to die. Okay, and the blood cells start to fall apart. Well, this experiment was to measure the rate of decay of the sample inside the accumulator versus in the control box. And in this experiment, which has been replicated from this high quality laboratory, but also by others, is that the level of what we call vitality is upwards of 70% longer than in a controlled environment in the wooden box. So
sorry, we don't have the pictures for you. I completely forgot to grab that photo because we put it everywhere else though.
But if you YouTube Reich blood test, you'll come across the video. I think it's the top. It's the top video.
So it's showing you under a microscope that having an orgone energy field around living cells prolongs their life and slows down decay.
That's right. The cells absorb this field and it makes them last longer.
And it's amazing.
And it's amazing. It shows the blood cells over 15, 25, 45 minutes, and it's amazing. It just keeps it longer. So, right. So now we're going to talk about Orgonite.
Okay, but hang on. So we are obviously running a little over on this call. We only have a few more slides left, but we want to make sure we give you guys the info. So maybe another 15 minutes or so, just to give you guys a heads up.
Yes, that's right. Okay, so we talked about orgone energy, where it came from, how it was based on it's an observable thing that can be replicated. So it's the scientific method. It's the core of science to be able to take this. People are using it to basically water their fields and their for crops. If you're trying to sell your crops and you want to make sure that it gets adequate rain, this technology is obviously good for that. So fast forward to the late 90s. Someone by the name of an Austrian called Karl-Heinz Wells has developed a composite instead of layers of metal and non-metal. Say, right, I can shrink this down into a composite that inside of it has a bunch of metal flakes, and the composite itself is the non-metal. And it's called Orgonite. A composite material is designed to perform a similar function as the multi-layered walls of an orgone accumulator, ORAC, but it's more efficient. Now, instead of these large sheets of the accumulator, these metal flakes, they have more surface area, and so they store more energy. And also what they're doing, they're taking these random fields from the environment, and it just makes them a more powerful device. Now, these composites, what do? They passively create low energy negative ions when stimulated by external fluctuations in the environment. So, and we have all kinds of vibrations in the environment. We have RF radiation, the microwaves from cell towers. We have sunlight. We have thermal changes throughout the day. All these forms of radiation, when they impact this composite emits negative ions. Now, these negative ions are very beneficial to living organisms and are responsible for the positive that Reich observed in his orgone accumulation. Now, the Orgonite basically takes from these vibrations that we just talked about and turns them into negatively charged, beneficial, coherent torsion or scalar fields that extends into a large range. So if you got like a few pyramids on the plot, and there's experiments that are done on this Orgonite in gardens, for example. We don't have a photo here, but you can look it up. If you had a plot with no Orgonite, with a bunch of garden plants, and you had a plot on next to that had Orgonite in it, you'll see the change in how these plants perform. But that field, the Orgonite field or the orgone field, extends much larger than that.
I've been collecting pictures too, by the way. I posted something on my Facebook page a while back about our carrots. We have like one control pot, and the one with the Orgonite, the carrots are the stalks are growing much higher, and also we have tomato plants. So we're collecting the photos from our own growing experiments using Orgonite and not using Orgonite, and the difference is like, it's tremendous. You can see that the plants grow much bigger.
Now, I mentioned earlier about Orgonite kind of has this woo-woo mystique around it. Now, understand the inventor, or the person that coined the name, that composite Orgonite, Karl-Heinz Wells, he himself said the best Orgonite is one that's made out of powders. So it should actually look boring. It should just be a few flat colors, and that's it, because the metal and everything are all pulverized powder.
You'll get a scientific effect when you have something that's instead of the really pretty ones.
That's the only reason why we're explaining why this is. You're going to see all kinds of artwork in resin, you know, with blue stones and the coils and stuff.
And they're gorgeous.
And they're beautiful. They're beautiful works of art. But we're talking about something that's supposed to have a specific function to absorb all these random destructive fields. That's good for life. That makes you feel better. That makes your cells and things like that. So the properties enable Orgonite to do the following: pass water. And that's why if you do something called the Orgonite, we make these plates here, these charge plates. Still water with no impurities in it. You know, you can do tap water, but no impurities. You put this inside a freezer, it's solid, and you should get a tornado like this right now. And basically what the organizing the bonds of ice as it's freezing into this pattern. And that pattern is the field effect. Okay?
And there's these little, this isn't the best picture of the spikes, but there's this beautiful spike thing that happens in the ice.
The spikes of bubbles.
It's
so elongated.
You can see the energy field, basically, is what.
And now again, this is obviously, this is a glass jar. It's standing on the plate. So you put the plate in the water. This field goes and structures it passively.
This is a great. Let's get back to the 5G real quick, because what we're talking the torsion fields.
Yes, the
and
torsion field.
These composites called Orgonite.
That's right.
And these fields combat the 5G microwaves.
That's right.
They create a shield or a blocking pattern, block out those microwaves. So if you can take these composites.
That's the thing. You can make this and replicate it yourself.
You pour it 2 steps. We made a video. Surround your house with it so that they can set up as many towers as they want to, and it's not going to harm you and your family.
Yeah, what's happening is the more these fields, these destructive fields, saturate the environment, the more these type of devices passively take these fields and turn it into something that is coherent for life. Okay, so some of the other applications of this kind of technology is. It preserves foods and drinks in the fridge longer. We take these charge plates, we put them in our refrigerator.
Yeah.
And if you have lettuce and other things that tend to go rotten, especially in the summer.
Everything. Dairy, eggs, even meats. It preserves all of the food much longer.
It's amazing.
3 to 5 times longer, and it's great.
Garden plants we found grow healthier. It's consistent with other people doing experiments with Orgonite. Greatly help restore the body's natural rest and sleep patterns. Again, I mean, I was very sensitive, and you have one of these devices under your pillow or something, you're going to feel the difference. It's like you're being knocked out. You can re-energize the body's natural bioelectric field and strengthen its immunity, like if you have an orgone pendant or one of these bracelets and things like that. And by doing that, it helps shield against the harmful effects of EMF, especially if you're someone who suffers from things like pain from microwave or being close to cell towers, these kind of physical effects that you normally feel. By having Orgonite on or around you, you're going to feel that these effects greatly diminish or disappear entirely. And like we said before, like that torsion field that you see in the screen there on the ice test, these fields extend into the upper atmosphere, especially,
really high
especially if you have Orgonite pyramids.
Yeah.
It sends a column of these negative ions straight up, and that's what binds with the chemtrails. So when you have people talking about the chemtrails clearing when it's in the vicinity of Orgonite, that's why. These charges that are going upward bind with the chemtrails are all positively charged. They bind with them, and it creates a current going straight up go skyward, away from the ground. And so that's what's happening there. So
we just got another video the other day. It happens here all the time because of all the Orgonite that we have around.
Yeah.
We're seeing that everywhere around us is all these gray clouds, and they still spray chemtrails here too. But above our house, you see this great big blue hole right above the house because you can see the fields that the Orgonite's creating is like pushing away.
Yeah, that's right.
All of the chemtrails and the dark cloud cover.
And it's very strong. If you have 4 pyramids or more, you'll see this field extend for miles. I'm talking like 10, 15 mile diameter. It's impressive to see.
So just think about how you could your house alone.
Yes.
With an orgone field around it could help to protect everybody on your whole block
That's right, and that's the
from
thing.
5G, right?
And you can be strategic. You obviously want to grid your property with this stuff, but you might also want to take some and just kind of plant them in places to help out, your community. And like we said before, not all orgonites are made the same. Now you know why. It must be made from powders for the best effect. It's based on Dr. Wilhelm Reich's ORGONE experiments. Now we found powders are the most effective. We found some other research also, just completely independent, because now we're dealing with composites. There was a scientific team that found that iron oxide and quartz powders attenuate microwaves.
This is Tavon.
And this is Hope Girl, and in this video we're going to talk.
It's only found in one place in the world. 98% carbon. It's arranged in what looks like a soccer ball. So early on, decades ago.
Really? So
Water. Also can be used. Yeah.
wow. Now that's really important. If you have been
The research now into shungite, because of when they go across the air, it has a special property that is healing.
we've chosen to use shungite in all of our
Products have different metals, iron oxide, the effectiveness of all.
While some of them are really, really pretty, and we really respect other additional benefits of shungite, that makes our Orgonite PM. And he's used, and this is a new product that will be a box, tile, all kinds of possibilities are endless of what you can do with these amazing.
Yeah.
So that's what shungite is. It's been.
Thank you. Goodbye.
Building tiles. Let me explain to you the environment and turn it into that are used in a wide range of application environment. They are both in them to line an entire room in your home, or you can get chair. You can put them on a massage table, Orgonite shungite bed. You can line a tabletop any color you wish, and they will not break by hand. And we personally package. Order your tiles for your
Emails here. I just want to read some of the feedback that we've had from
Orgonite, because I encourage everyone who's listening to this, local machinist, you probably have to order online, so you got from. So when you do all that stuff and you start,
also really nice just making something with your hands, help you
yes,
and your family.
yes, that's
Here's
right.
a couple for the result. And he said, by the way, I like the newer design, but we're trying to bring you to read this.
Okay.
This.
Okay, thanks, Tavon. What I hope is that I want their minutes.
all of these replies, they're writing them to us. And I'm getting the best sleep in years. I am periodically noticing that my name recall